I have a book review for you guys, and this book destroyed me, but in the best way possible. So this is Penitence by Kristin Koval. This is an Indie Next Award winner, and I absolutely can see why. It's not super huge, so I finished it in just a couple of readings, but my goodness gracious, was this book so good. So it's a very heartrending premise. So the book starts out, you have mom, dad, brother, sister living out in Colorado, and the book starts where the sister has shot and killed the brother. And it's this family coming to grips with what happened and why it happened, and how do you support your child through something like this when their actions caused the death of your other child. And it's really, it bounces back and forth in the timelines, and you really get to see these characters from the very beginning, starting like we flash all the way back to high school and then back and forth, and you see kind of how they came to be in the position that they are in. There's so many family secrets, and there's just so much tragedy that has affected this family. When the mother was a teen, her little sister was killed in a skiing accident because she wasn't watching her sister, and it just, like, you feel so much for this family. And the way that the author writes about this, and what I found really interesting about this book, like here's a really, and I know it's gonna be hard to see, but, and in these 2 pages, this down here is the only chunk of dialogue. The rest of this is all internal processes, kind of description, but it works, and it works so well. It really is a book about your internal musings and processes of dealing with grief and tragedy and hardship, and how this family pulls apart, and can they pull together. And I just don't even have words. Like, I don't know that my vocabulary or my knowledge of literary processes is good enough to be able to describe how good this book is. I felt like my heart was being ripped out of my chest, but at the same time, the book left me also with this feeling of hope at the same time. And that I will say, that is one thing that I love about a good book, when it can make me feel something so powerful and impactful, but not leave me feeling depressed. That is a sign for me of a fantastic book. I felt like when I finished this book, I felt like I was in a little bit of a book coma. Like, just being like, I couldn't, it's like I am right now. It's like I couldn't string sentences together, and I was trying to describe the book to my husband, and I think he was probably a little bit glazed over because I was glazed over. It was just really hard. But this is an absolute yes. Yes, 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 yes. Read this book. It is so, so good. These characters will stick with me for a very long time. And this book has earned a place of honor on my personal bookshelf at home. So yes, go read this book. It is so heart-rending, but also hopeful. And I definitely had the moment, again, the last 50 pages for me just absolutely wrecked me. And I had the moment where I was like, no. Do we ever truly figure out why she does what she does? Kind of. Do we start to understand that the why maybe doesn't really matter, and what matters is how do we react and cope with, and eventually try to move on from these huge horrific acts that leave us just a shell of grief? Absolutely. Like, to me, that was the big takeaway of of knowing that there is a path forward, even through the hardest of hard times, the impossible things that we just feel like will destroy our world and we'll never be able to get over. There's a path through that, and you can come out on the other end, and it won't be the same, but it can be good, even if it's not the same. Please go read this book. It is so good and so moving. And even with a limited amount of dialogue, this book moves along and you feel you're being pulled in and pulled along. So Penitence by Kristin Koval. I absolutely have copies of this in the store. I'm so happy that I have finished it, because now this is going to be on my list of books I recommend to people when they ask me, oh, so what have you read? What do you like? This one. This is really good. So have a good rest of your day, and I will hopefully be back soon with another one. And the book I'm currently reading is the complete opposite of this one. So watch for that. Bye.